myself going into a reading slump. Fantastic accents So, I'm gonna make this video. Hopefully this will be a vlog, and the whole purpose of doing this is to read a good book that I'm excited by, because I've just been reading, I don't know, like really 3 stars, 2 stars, very disappointing books for the past few weeks, and I just need something to get me excited by so that I can vlog, because unless I'm already vlogging it and the book happens to be bad, I don't want to record or like start a video just for the sake of trashing a book, which is what I just DNF'd The Maidens because it was shit. I hate it. I cannot get over the protagonist and this subpar plot and these obvious red herrings. So forget about that, right? I'm going to figure out something that I really want to read, because I can feel myself going into a reading slump and I need to avoid that. So I have a couple of ways of doing this. The first one is I made a video last year about my most anticipated new releases, and I'm gonna watch that video and see if I read anything, or if I like to read anything from there. And if I can't find anything, I'm just gonna look at my shelf and see whatever sparks my interest, and I'm just gonna pick it up and read it. So let's see. So I'll see if I can put a video down here of what I'm watching now, but yeah. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for watching this video. And that is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. Now I have been waiting for this book to... Okay, so there's Concrete Rose, which I have no interest in reading at the moment, because I already tried that. That didn't really... it wasn't really interesting. Then Hollow Smoke I read, loved it. Wings of Ebony, I DNF'd that. And what else? Ooh, Black Coast. But then that's fantasy, and I'm currently reading Jade War, and I already read another fantasy before that, which is Black Sun, and that wasn't that great. I had to put that on hold as well because I wasn't in the mood. Conductors. I'm just fast forwarding the video to like the books I don't really, because I didn't remember what I said about them. Yeah, so clearly nothing from that video I want to read at the moment, so I'm just going to pick something from the shelf, I guess. I am intrigued about The Conductors, which is one of the books that I saw in the video, but again, I think that is either fantasy or historical fiction, and if it's historical fiction, then I might pick it up. But yeah, so let's see what's on the shelf so I can pick it up. You're gonna see how indecisive and annoying I am when I'm picking a book, so just be glad that you don't see this every day. Alright, this is the shelf. Just gonna record on my phone. I don't really know what mood I am in to read. I definitely don't want fantasy right now, and I don't want sci-fi. Oh, okay. Okay. So we have this. It's not sci-fi, this is historical fiction, I think, and it's about the Titanic. Something to do with the Titanic. Okay, so the push is good too. It's a thriller, and apparently it's really weird. I think, I'll show it again. I don't know. Those two are great. I also really wanted to read The Prophets. It's about two men falling in love during like in the plantations. So that's something. I also heard this is good. Little, oh my god, it's stuck. Yeah, this one, little fires everywhere. So I don't know. Okay, I have decided. I went with the I went with the smallest book from the ones that were contenders to this reading vlog. So I went with Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This has an audiobook and it has a TV show. And there's an audiobook so I can switch between the two, so I don't necessarily have to keep reading the book. So hopefully this will do it for me, and hopefully this is good. It's about a Chinese American family living in Ohio in the 70s. Yeah, so I've never read a Celeste Ng book, so I probably won't. I might read like a chapter or two tonight, but I'm currently watching The Big Bang Theory because I've just been so bored. But anyway, welcome to the vlog. So hopefully I can continue this for a week, and I will see you when I have read this book and I have some updates. Okay, so before I go, I want to unwrap this book because it came on the cover, and can you see it? I'm very bad at this stuff. This is why I don't do unboxings. Okay, here we are. This is the book. It's very pretty. Yeah. Okay. Hi guys, it is 11:30 on Wednesday. Yes, I think you saw a clip of me listening to Dial A in the car on the way to work, but after that I finished the book and I didn't want to come here and talk about it, but I just didn't have the time yesterday or today. But before I get to that, there's something really exciting happening. I don't know if you can tell, maybe you can tell because the audio up until now has been really shit, and I'm pretty sure you heard like a hissing noise, and now suddenly the audio must be really good. If it's not, then I'm embarrassing myself. The reason is why, because I got a really great Rode video mic Go today, and it's rarely available in Sri Lanka, and I happened to come across it today when one of my co-workers went to see something else, and then yeah, I asked him to check it out to see if it was there, and it was. I just right after work I went straight there and I bought it, and yeah, I'm just so happy. Like, I don't know if you guys are interested in this stuff, but I'm really interested in like camera gear and equipment ever since I started making videos. So yeah, it's really nice to have it. And honestly, I thought that I would have to order it online and have it shipped, but that's really expensive. So yeah, that's the update on the new equipment. But onto the book, Dial A, I gave it 5 stars. I was laughing throughout the story, and I was listening to it at work. And I mean, yeah, the workplace is chill, so it didn't really bother me, but I was just laughing. It was so fun. I couldn't stop listening to it. I love the characters. I love the audiobook narrator. She does like fantastic accents and voices for like the different aunties and the main character. And yeah, and the plot is so fast paced, right? Everything happens like very quickly, and the stakes are so high because they have to go to this wedding that they are catering, and this part will be spoiler, so fair warning. But yeah, so they also have to keep the dead body in the freezer, and turns out that he wasn't dead when they put him in, which is like completely like, I was like, I did not see that coming. I actually thought he was dead the first time. Now, not only did she kill him, she also got her family involved. So that was messed up. And then before that, there was a scene where when she realized that her mom had pretended to be her and used a lot of eggplant emojis on on the dating app where she talked to this guy, and that part was just so hilarious. I mean, I actually was able to imagine what was happening because the narrator was so good. And then of course one of the best scenes in the story is when the dead body walks down the aisle with the rest of the groomsmen, because they had thought that he was one of the drunk dudes that was in the room that day, smoking and drinking and getting high. So yeah, that I don't know, man, there was just so many scenes that was just so good and engaging. And even though like the plot is so fast paced, right, but it flowed very smoothly. And the character dynamics are so great, like the aunties and then their relationship with each other, and then like their relationship with Maddie and Maddie's relationship with like each of them, and as a whole it's so unique and very familiar because that Asian culture comes out in every conversation that they have, and their priorities. And just, I mean, come on, like the aunt is having tea with Maureen, who's basically holding a gun at them, is classic. I can actually see my relatives doing the same thing. Ooh, and the other thing is, I really like Nathan, his character as well, like him and Maddie's relationship, right? The romance is clearly like a secondary plot to the story, which is great. I don't want their drama taking the spotlight away from the aunties and this murder, right? So I really liked how they started off their relationship. Like they already have feelings for each other, they already knew each other, there was no meet cute or any of that. It's just they were apart, and I really like the fact that when they met again, they were like their own individual people and they had their own careers, they were doing well. And like Nate has his own hotel, which is like really impressive and great, and he's one of those people who doesn't have an ego complex. The only thing I didn't like about Nate and Maddie's relationship is how he reacted to the murder when that confrontation finally comes and she reveals everything that she did, right? And all he says is that I know, not he doesn't know exactly what happened, but he suspected something weird or like something fishy was going on from the way they were acting, her and her aunties, which I didn't like. Because for one thing, with romances, this third act conflict, right, that's what it's called, and that is very obvious in most romance stories, right? Like something happens and then they break up for a while and they make up again at the end. But here the writer had such a good story in terms of like she already had a plot that was not that, something different and something so great and enjoyable. And I was actually really excited to see how that would turn out, because no normal person is gonna react to that and be like, oh, it's okay, like I already knew you, so I already like you, I know you're a good person even though you killed somebody and basically got your entire family involved. And don't forget the fact that they didn't see each other for a long time, so they were different people when they met again. So he was never gonna, if he was like a real person, he would never react that way. And that was very disappointing because I really wanted that confrontation, because I'm not saying that he has to make a scene and disagree with her and like break up, right? No, I want to see how he reacts and what he says. I need time for him. I want to see him go through that phase and how he comes to terms with it and make his own choice, like whether to, I don't know, break up or like accept that this was a mistake and then, you know, the girl she fell in love with is still there. She's actually not a killer, right? So I didn't get to see any of that, which was disappointing because that was something that could have been really great to see. Because this dude saw the dead body on her bed, right? And she was legit in the room with a dead body, and he didn't know it was a body when he found it. I would have liked to see him recapture every moment, right, at this wedding, and think like all the times that she was weird was her trying to hide the fact that she killed someone, and that she brought the dead body to his hotel, to this wedding that potentially could be massive success to him in terms of like his success. So all of that, right, didn't happen because he said, I know, I knew some shit like that, right? You know, like I knew something was going on because I know your aunt's behaviors. Granted, like he couldn't have known that because he never met the aunts and the family. That was a big part of their relationship, and that was a big problem in the beginning. So I actually did consider giving it 4 stars because of that, but then I read the ending and it was actually great. Like it wrapped up really nicely. I know there's a second book, but they really don't need it. I mean, I would read it because I love it. I love the aunties, I love Maddie, I love the story, but you don't need a second book. Everything wrapped up really nicely, and there was a resolution and a conclusion, a closure from every angle. So I was happy with it. So it didn't really matter that that scene was something I didn't agree on and something that could have been done so well, which didn't happen. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I would definitely put it up as one of my favorites and reread it again. Not reread it actually. I would actually listen to it again because the narrator, I think she did it for me because her accents and her voice acting was so great that I would actually listen to it again. Because it wasn't just like reading a book, right? I could vividly picture all these scenes in my head from her voice. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I really like audiobooks, because if the narrator is good, it could actually be like you're inside the story and you're imagining it as it unravels. And one more point to add to the third act conflict that I was talking about in romance. I've come to accept that because that's how the genre is, right? And if you read Talia Hibbett's book especially, I see her third act conflict from a mile away. I know, okay, something's gonna happen that's gonna make them get into a fight, and then, I don't know, reevaluate their relationship and end up together, right? That's what happens. I wouldn't mind that. I'm recording! Now your voice is gonna be in the video! So it's completely fine for a romance to have that, but the problem with this book was that it was so original, right? I've never read a rom-com that was like this. And most of these scenes were so original and I loved it. I enjoyed that authenticity, because you don't see that a lot in rom-coms because there's a very clear flow to the story. So that's one of the reasons that I was really upset about Nate and Maddie's confrontation, which I didn't get to see. So now I have to go read fanfiction. I don't know if that's it's gonna be there. Also, one of my friends made a very good point that maybe Nathan didn't react like a normal person to this revelation is because he's actually he's actually in the mafia, which is the plot to the next book. That would be really fun to read. And that would make a whole lot of sense why he didn't, why he just brushed off this elaborate plan that Maddie had to get away with murder. Hi guys, it is Thursday and I just got back from work and I have a package to unbox. I know exactly what this is, and I don't do a lot of unboxings on my channel. I don't do any at all. So I figured I'll do one. This is from Blackwell's. That's where I get most of my books. This is actually from a friend. I didn't order this. She got it for me. Are we ready? Ta-da! open it up. The book is this, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. Oh my god. Katie Colson was reading this and she loved it, so I really wanted to read this. It's been on my wish list for like such a long time and I never bought it. I really like this book because this is about Mary Jekyll, who's the daughter of Mr. Jekyll, and I think he goes missing and then she goes to find him, and she's trying to find Mr. Hyde so that he can help her find Dr. Jekyll. So, I mean, if you know the story, you know that Jekyll and Hyde, they're both the same person. So I'm really excited to read this and see what it is. I actually have the second book already. I bought it from Big Bad Wolf. It was a lot cheaper, and it's like a hard print. That means like it doesn't have a dust jacket, so the cover is imprinted on the hardback. So yeah, it was really pretty. I would show it to you, but it's in my bookshelf and it's all covered in foil. So whenever I read this, also I think I will actually do a special reading vlog, reading both the books. I have to get the third one as well, or maybe I'll just listen to an audiobook, I don't know. So yeah, that's a small unboxing. Let me know if you want me to do more of these. I usually do my unboxings on Instagram, but on YouTube I've never done it, so if you want, I'll do it. Also, while I'm here, I might just give you an update on Everything I Never Told You. I'm really liking it. I just don't connect to the characters, not the way that I did with Diale Fontes, but this is nice. I like the story, and I like this title, Everything I Never Told You, is exactly what you're gonna get when you read the book, because all these secrets and these unspoken confessions and all of that, that's really the point of this whole story. And reading it makes me really angry sometimes, because I was like, it affected my mood throughout the day without me ever knowing it. I was really irritated and annoyed and kind of angry today. Then I realized that it's because of this book, because of all this pressure and this family drama and always expecting your kids to live up to something that they don't want to, or being unfaithful. That kind of family life is very toxic to everybody involved. That's what made me angry just reading it. And yeah, the characters, I really like them. It's hard to connect to them, I don't know why. Maybe because of the narrator. This is one of those audiobook narrators that's not good. She's just narrating the story, there's nothing. It feels like she's very out of it when she's narrating it, unlike in Diale Fontes. So I think maybe it would be different if you read the book. I'm like almost done with it, so I think I have like 3 chapters to go, and I will let you know my final thoughts. But the story itself is really good. It's about this girl who goes missing, and we go back and forth between present day and the past. And there's gonna be spoilers for this part, because it turns out that she killed herself. It wasn't murder or anything, and they show everything that led up to her taking her life and how the family reacts. I don't know if this is what is gonna happen in the end. This could have been avoided if people just talked and expressed their feelings and confronted each other and just didn't keep things bottled up. I hope that made sense. I will update you once I finish this. It's only Thursday, so maybe I can start like a new book in this vlog. And this whole attempt at me avoiding a slump and reading good books is finally paying off, and it's great to see that it's working. Hi guys, it's a little letter coming to you with an update. I finished reading Everything I Never Told You. It's great. I gave it 4 stars. I really like the ending. I still didn't connect to the characters, like I said before. Even though it's heartbreaking and there's gonna be a lot of trauma from this event that happened, I like the fact that there was a positive light. And how it went is that the narrator basically tells you that it takes time, but they will be in a better place in a few years. They don't know it right now, but we know as readers that they're gonna be okay. That even though these kids lost their sibling and the parents lost a child, which eventually broke their marriage, but they did find a way back to each other. With grief, it definitely takes time, but eventually you learn to live with it. So I'm glad she made that point really well. One of the best things about this book is the sibling relationship, like the sibling dynamics, Now, I read Malibu Rising a few weeks ago, and their sibling bond and the relationship dynamics are really strong. They are all they have for each other, so to read something completely opposite, where one sibling is way too close to the other and the other one does not reciprocate. Heartbreaking, and it's realistic because even though my sister and I are really close, I've heard so many of my friends saying that they don't have siblings like us. They always spend time apart, they have their own lives, different friends. When I read stuff like that, it honestly makes me feel really lucky that I have a sister that I'm really close to. Yeah, overall, a great book. I highly recommend it. It is a little on the emotional side. That's why I'm not really so upbeat about this review, because it did affect me and there's a lot of emotions involved when you read that book. So fair warning, it will sneak up on you, and especially if you have siblings, it will affect you. The only reason I gave 4 stars and not 5 stars is because, like I said, I didn't connect with the characters, and that is a big deal to me because even though I feel for their pain and I understand their pain, I didn't really care about them. So that's what I mean by not connecting with them, right? Like, so they were basically like strangers to me, unlike in Malibu Rising when I immediately started feeling for these characters and these siblings and felt their pain, I felt their happiness. So all of that's what I mean by like not connecting. But now I'm going to read another book. I'm not going to show you my indecisiveness again in this vlog, especially because you already saw that, but I did manage to pick a book, and it's the book club pick for August. That is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have no idea what this is about, but I've heard good things about it and I know that a lot of people liked it. It's a pretty popular book on BookTube and Bookstagram, so I'm gonna give it a try and I will let you know what I think once I've read a few chapters. Hi guys, it is Saturday and it's about 4:30. I had a weirdest day. I didn't sleep well last night because I was up till 4 a.m. and then I had to wake up at 8 a.m. and I've been running on 4 hours of sleep, and then I couldn't do anything else. Then I just had to go somewhere, and then when I came back I just knocked out and I slept for like, I don't know, 4 hours. So after my initial thoughts on everything I told you, I wanted to give you like full final thoughts on what I thought of the book. I realized that I needed time to think on it and then talk about it with my sister, because it always helps to gather my thoughts when I always have the discussion with her, because she gives like really good points and it helps me kind of put into words what I'm feeling. So overall, I really like the story. That hasn't changed. I think I like it more now. I would still give it 4 stars, and I'll tell you why. This story is going to be like very spoilery, so I'm just gonna put the thing here. I like how at the end, so like Lydia goes into the water, to the lake to swim to shore, right? Because she thinks that she can remember what Nathan taught her, which is a little bit ambiguous because we all know that she can't swim, right? And it's really hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that she thought this was a good idea. Anyway, it turns out like it's a horrible accident that she died. She didn't actually kill herself, because you know something that nobody else in the book knows, and that's what Lydia was thinking on like her last hours, right? She was intending to make everything better, make peace with her brother and apologize to Jack and make peace with the parents, everything. So we know that she never intended to kill herself. She was depressed in the beginning and she was in a really bad place, but her character grew throughout the book. And so to think that she actually went in the night on a boat so that she thinks that she can swim back to shore from what Nathan taught, I don't think the writer's intention was to give like a clear ending as to like, okay, this is a tragic accident, because it still could have been suicide. I'm not sure. Like, it's what I was very conflicted about, whether she actually killed herself or whether she drowned. Either way, it's tragic, right? Because the moment she decides to make things right, she ends up dying. However, I really like her story arc, because no matter what the ending is, we know that she had a resolution. She as a character became full circle when she decides to own up to her mistakes and confront everybody and learn to grow as a person and understand that she doesn't need anybody to look after her. Like, she can be independent, she can take care of herself, and she can continue on with her life without her brother or without depending on her brother and putting the blame on him. Now, in terms of the parents, I like how their relationship eventually fell through, because there's a lot of stuff that was bottled up inside that we know as the reader that these people were going through. I like how the writer tackled racial disparity even within a mixed race couple. Even though they pretend it's not there, it comes out in really ugly ways. Especially when Marilyn says to James that if I had married someone else, our kids wouldn't be going through this when the kids were getting bullied at school, right? If they weren't Chinese, they wouldn't be bullied. Essentially, that's what she was saying. And then James, in return, telling her that, oh, I guess your mom was right, you should have married someone else. Even though they never talk about these things, which they should have, they all kept those things bottled up because they didn't want to affect their perfect marriage. It eventually destroyed them in the end. Although we know that as the reader, the writer tells us, gives us a glimpse into the future and says that they do make up and they do eventually end up in a happy place. I like that resolution, but from where we are, it's up to us to decide whether that happiness is going to last because of all the things that we know now. Coming back to Lydia, that's what I'm very conflicted about, what I want to believe, whether she actually killed herself or she drowned. Because deciding to go to the lake at night and intending to swim back to shore, it's not something you would do when you know for a fact that you can't swim, right? So that's very conflicting to me, to think that was her choice to go. So I don't know. So my answer to that is like you can draw your own conclusions, I guess, because there's just no way to know for sure what happened. But I just decided not to draw any conclusion because I want to keep it open-ended, just the way the writer intended, because that's when the 4 stars come in, because I don't have enough information with these characters to know them enough to come to that conclusion. That is why I gave 4 stars, and I feel like this book could be longer. It definitely can be longer, so that we have enough time to get to know these characters more, because these characters are so complex, right? They're not very easy to read and they're not very easy to understand, because the choices they make, the way they react to things, like it's a lot of things that feel very human, but it's like you're looking at them from across the street and you're just watching them and you're not in their lives. So if this was longer, if we had got to know them better, I think I would have been able to come to a conclusion as to what happened to Lydia, because right now I don't know, and I choose not to know, because that's okay. We just don't get to spend enough time with every character to get to know them better. That's why even before I said that I couldn't connect to them and I couldn't care what they did, because it's just me observing from afar. Anyway, I hope that made sense. I do highly recommend you read that book though, because I would love to know what you think. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog because I have to film another video. And to wrap up, I read Dial A for Aunties, which is like an all-time favorite of mine now. I'll probably listen to it again. 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I get that 4 out of 5. And I started The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which I'm only like, I don't know, couple of pages in. I still don't know what it's about. I think I read the back of the story and I think that's the synopsis. Like when you die, you go to this library and the entire library is your life if you had made a different decision. So it's like a what if situation in the book format, and you get to see what would have happened if you made that choice or didn't make that choice. Sounds very interesting and I'm gonna keep reading it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because I do make videos every Thursday and Sunday, at least I hope to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.